trailer because this is super immersive. If you've ever dreamed of being in the cockpit of an X-Wing starfighter or a TIE fighter, this is the game for you. You know, the games have done such a great job of trying to put a lightsaber in your hand, put you, on foot in battle, but they're trying to take that level of intensity and reality and putting you in the cockpit of an X-Wing. And it's really, really cool stuff based on the trailer. So here it is. Let's take a look at this trailer. Where are we at? There we go. All right, I'm going to pop the volume down just a little bit so we don't get any weird echo. But we see a X-Wing pilot, female X-Wing pilot being pursued here. By the way, I think we're going to see in this trailer that this TIE fighter pilot has the war paint on the helmet. That's a very Star Wars animated universe thing. You don't see that much you don't see it at all in the films. None of these troopers have any kind of like paint on their helmets.
Well, keep in mind though, this is in an era following the defeat of the Empire in the Battle of Yavin. So we might be dealing with that period of Imperial uncertainty following the death of Palpatine and the destruction of the Death Star 2, where warlords have taken control over certain sectors of the galaxy, and they're, Imperial warlords.
Right.
And so that might be something to identify different factions of Imperial domination happening throughout the galaxy.
Take a look
cool
at
to
this.
see that's
Wedge? I thought that was
Antilles.
Wedge. That deserves a rewind here. Let's see.
Good old Wedge.
There's
That's
Wedge.
Wedge. There's no
follow
question
me.
about that. Wedge is leading the charge. So we have a video game featuring TIE fighters and X-Wings having dogfights.
There's a good close-up of the painted helmet of the TIE fighter. But, again, this is all stuff that you'll see in the cutscenes. This is all, carrying the story.
Badass stuff. Cinematic.
Very cinematic.
Quality.
And they're really playing up this 5-on-5 concept. So so it's 5 New Republic pilots versus 5 Imperial pilots. And here is a great shot of a Star Destroyer rising up over the clouds. Kind of has that Cloud City sort of pinkish, peachish hue. Star Wars Squadrons launching October 2nd, 2020. It's, I mean, if you're a gamer, and, well, I guess you don't even have to be a gamer, but if you've ever wanted to feel what it's like to be in the cockpit of one of these iconic fighters, either on the side of the Rebellion, the New Republic, or the Empire, you're going to be in for a real treat. For me, my favorite game where that puts the players in that scenario is the old Nintendo 64 Rogue Squadron game. God, I love that game. That was such a great game, and that tells you a little bit about the intensity of my video game playing, where I'm referencing games from years and years ago. But that was really the one for me that made the experience of being in that cockpit really come to life. Yep. And I know there's been other games since over the years, but that's the one that I really fondly look back on. Now, I've also heard that if you're a PlayStation VR player, that there is going to be a version, or there's going to be some compatibility with the virtual reality on the PS4. So some really, really intense stuff. I gotta confess, I haven't gotten into it. I'm sure that I would love it if I did. This seems kind of like the now with the Battlefront games, there was space combat, but this seems to be like one of those things where you can kind of jump in, get some friends online, and all right, well, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and because I've heard that you actually gather around the war room, come up with strategies and battle plans.
Really?
Yeah, and then go off and have your battle. So
I don't do these MMO games. I like the things like Jedi Fallen Order, where it's just me in the environment. I don't have any wackiness going on by overly aggressive players who are much better than I am, messing with my game. It's just it's more of an individual experience. If I got to get into a war room with people, they won't have the patience for me, and I won't have the patience for them. So it's just going to be a mess.
You know what? If you're playing in this thing on PC, Jim, that your flight simulator controls will actually work with this thing. So if you're
my flight
well not yours.
Controls,
I'm saying if that's something you're
flight,
into
it's
on the PC.
Incompatible. I'm incompatible. It's just not going to happen.
This is but man, if this is your thing, this is going to be a big deal.